Welcome to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast. This is the only podcast that gives you a raw and unfiltered perspective of what it's really like to be a professional cheerleader. Whether you're currently on a pro team, an alumni, or really curious about what it takes to become a pro cheerleader, the Pro Cheerleading Podcast gives you all the inside scoop and hot topics in the pro cheerleading industry and in-depth interviews of current and former cheerleaders. I'm your host, Mhkeeba. Join me every Wednesday as I reveal the truth behind the Poms.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Good.
Good.
No, I just one of the routines that I choreographed just won yesterday, so it was kind of a big deal for me.
Oh my goodness, what team was this?
Arizona State. So I've never choreographed a D1A Jazz, and they were my first one, and they went off to Florida and kicked ass.
And just killed that. Oh my gosh! I saw you posted about wishing them good luck because you were watching, right?
Yes. It's
Okay.
a mess.
That is so exciting. So what song did you use?
It's a song called Time by Hans Zimmer, instrumental.
Okay.
They wanted a throwback, they wanted something different, and I wanted to do something totally not Arizona State because they have a style and a niche. And I was like, well, if I'm coming in, I want to kind of change it up. Like, you're going to hire me to be different. So it was a process, but they trusted the vision, trusted all that fun stuff, and had patience with me. Yeah, we got it done.
Well, we'll officially kick it off. As you guys know, this is the last season of the Pro Cheerleading Podcast, and I cannot imagine closing it out without this particular interview. I have Quinton Peron, a former Los Angeles Rams cheerleader.
Former.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
So does that sting? I know. We're going to have to talk all about that because I'm processing that. Been dying to talk to you for like 3 years now, ever since Boys Want to Have Fun episode. That was like episode 2 or 3 of the podcast. So this is like long overdue in my mind. But welcome to the show officially, Quinton.
Thank you for having me. Excited to chat. Excited for all the things. There it is.
I want to hear all of the things about your dance training and background.
So dance journey. I've always been like a natural mover. Always wanted. I get it from my mom. Like literally, I hate that saying, but literally. But no, I've always been a party boy. I didn't really start formally training until I would say sophomore year in high school. I wish I started younger, but I was heavily involved in sports for like 12 years.
Okay.
I had a couple of dance opportunities here and there. And I remember in 8th grade, I was a part of a company called Show Choir, which is more singing and dancing. So, but it wasn't training. It was just, let's put on a show, steam heat, all that jazz hands and all that stuff. And then I had a friend who was friends with a lot of the girls on the varsity dance team my freshman year. And he was like, hey, there's an opportunity to kind of have like a co-ed hip hop piece. Like they want to have some random boys, but there were no boys in the dance team at my high school at the time. And I was like, well, that'd be kind of fun, but I mean, I can't really do anything, but sure, let's just play around. So I did that. And then I didn't join the dance program until sophomore year. That was kind of my little inspiration into it. And I remember just seeing Twitch on So You Think You Can Dance and just saying like, oh, I want to do that. And I never really looked back after that. So literally I quit both sports. I was playing basketball and baseball. I quit them both. And I joined my studio down the street called KLDA, which is no longer, but I literally walked into Jazz 5 looking like an idiot, but I was very determined. Very determined not to look like an idiot for that much longer. So sophomore year is when I kind of started.
Wow, that's crazy. And so like when you joined the dance studio, were you one of the few males or like were there other?
No, so I grew up in Rancho Cucamonga, so very kind of diverse area. I mean, diverse enough to where there is representation. There's a little bit of everything out there.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
And the studio at the time had 4 boys. One was way younger. He was probably about like 9. And then there was a couple that were older than me. One was super talented, like Alvin Ailey on his way, like legs for days, you know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
And the kind of story that you just fall in love with, like kind of grew up having nothing, you know what I mean? He's on scholarship at the studio. He just loves to dance and it's naturally just great and just good feet. And he was black. And I was like, what the hell? I've never seen a black guy with his legs so high. Like, that's crazy. And then another guy, Malcolm, he was one of the hip hoppers in it. So I had a lot of people to look up to because they were all older than me at the time. And my studio owner at the time was black. But again, we're in Rancho, so you have a lot of whites, you have Hispanics, you have a couple of Asians. Like we had a little bit of everything. So I never really had an issue when it came to that part of joining the studio. But at high school, there weren't really any boys. So kind of different.
Okay.
Or down the street.
Right. Just because it was different in high school, did you have any second thoughts about doing it and participating as a male, being part of like a...
To be honest, no. I think I've always just had the support from the friends, and my dance teacher was so awesome. And there was one boy on the team. I graduated in 2010, but he graduated in 2007.
Okay.
So I came in right when he left. So there's already kind of that legacy that he left, and he was fantastic. And I just remember seeing his picture on the wall, like, oh, I kind of want to be on varsity so I can wear that shirt and wear that jacket and pose in the middle with the girls in. But he was, and I give him a lot of credit because he literally, I think he had to go through, I mean, the school was new when he joined, so he had to go through all of that on top of being a gay Black male, you know what I mean? Then he was in cheer, he was the dance, but he was also a fantastic human. So I always say that I just got lucky with a good like city.
Well, just like you said, the representation was there, so it wasn't something where you were necessarily having to knock down those walls and barriers, but just seeing examples of people that were confident and talented and just inspirational in that way, where it's like,
I can do it, I can do it.
Space to do it. Exactly.
And I had a great dance teacher. Her name was Danielle Mancuso, and she, even to this day, she'll send me random text messages like, hey, she calls me Quince because the guy that was before me, his name was Vince, so she calls me Quince, and just was like, hey, Quince, I thought about you today. Hope all is well. I haven't seen you in a long time. I used to choreograph for them back in the day, but she's so sweet. I give her a lot of credit for like just instilling, no, you are a star. You can be great. You will be great. I just want you to just have fun when you're here. And yeah, it was fun. It was.
So is that what inspired you to teach? Because, I just love your dance videos from your classes with your students. Is that what inspired you to teach?
Honestly, I don't know what inspired me to teach, because my mom says this all the time. Because when I first started, I guess, getting into competition heavily, I guess she asked me if I was going to become a teacher. And I was so adamant that I was not. I was like, no, I'm never going to do that. And then 2 years later, after I graduated, it's first count routine. And then after that, it was over. It's a done deal. But I guess, I kind of got started. I was at a different studio at the time. My studio had closed, so we all had merged over to the new one called the Dallas Dance Center, where I'm at now, which is crazy. And my hip hop teacher at the time owned his own conventions. Like, he couldn't commit to Mondays, and that's when hip hop was. So he was just, hey, can you sub for me a couple times? And then that turned into, he sub for me for the month. And then, okay, well, I have to quit because I can't do it anymore. Can you take over? I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then that one hip hop class turned into, I kind of like doing jazz. Can I teach one jazz class to my boss? And then she agreed. And then that turned into one competition number, and it did really well. And then it turned into 5 and then 7. And then now I'm adding some solos in it. So then it just kind of just trickled down. And then I added another studio on the roster. So it was just, things just kind of fell into place. And I never really thought about doing this. It was just something to do that I liked, that I knew would pay me. You know what I mean? Because I also at Cold Stone and Starbucks, and I was like, I don't want to work at I couldn't really keep a normal job, to be honest. I loved it, but while I was in college, I was subbing every now and then.
Gotcha.
And once
where'd you go to college?
Mount San Antonio College. It was a JC out here. Now that I talk about it, I had some of the best dance teachers ever. Because I feel like I say the same thing. I credit this person for all my success, but I didn't compete until my senior year of high school. So I didn't really get that whole like studio growing up and everything and kicking ass. And I wasn't even in the good groups. Like, but my coach at Mount Sac, her name was Stephanie Green, and she was a no nonsense, like, I'm just blunt, I'm gonna tell you how it is, but a great heart. So it was hard because you're like, I love you, but you make me hate you sometimes because of stuff like you say. But I joined this team with some of the best dancers that I knew, and that was when YouTube was big and YouTube dance and your dance channel was all kind of crazy. And I was like, wait, I want to team with this chick. I can't do what she does. Like, this is nuts. But I guess she saw my heart because like I said, I was not was not up to par. But she told me verbatim, she said, the only reason why you're on this team is because you have a good toe touch. And I said, oh, well, I guess.
Okay. You're kind of honest, huh?
But I mean, she put me through the ringer for those 2 years. And again, I met some of my best friends on that team. I talked to almost everybody that I danced with because that was so new to me and so fresh that I was like, oh, I want to take it all in. So a couple of those girls actually were on Rams with me. So it's crazy that they literally saw the beginning of me struggling to a dope pirouette to now we're dancing together on the pro level. So
That's crazy.
Coach Green, thank you for being ruthless because again, I was in high school, I was the only guy. So that head got really big. I thought I was the hot shit. I was like, you know what I mean? And it's just it's natural, especially when I had my own dance club and I was involved in everything. So, and then I go to college where my coach was like, you're pretty much trash. So and I was happy for that wake up call because I needed it, one.
Yeah.
But I knew that I just wanted to make her happy. And the only way to do that was to really push and train and continue to just get in those classes and stretch and all that fun stuff. So
yeah.
Coach Green.
Hey, the truth behind the Poms. I think truth can go a long way as long
Absolutely.
as, delivered with, like you said, a good heart behind it. And you really just are wanting to pull the best out of people. So
it's taken my kids a long time to learn that. So
I was about to say, so what kind of teacher are you? What do you teach your kids? What's kind of what you try to instill in them beyond dance?
I had a group of kids that I started with, in 2013, and just about the time Rams was happening, they were in that later high school years, sophomore, junior, senior. So for them to literally see where I came from, and because a lot of them danced at the studio that I was at. So when I was dancing there, so I had kids that I was able to take when they were 8, 9, 10, and then to see them graduate, and then for them to see me do what I was doing with the Rams and all that stuff. And it was, I think, as much as they needed me, like I needed them. And I think it was so cool that we kind of saw this growth together. And they really do, like, I instill that you can do everything because they saw it all. Like they were there,
Right.
Seeing it all. They were, when I had all these late night and random interview calls during class, they were there, stressing about the audition. They were there. I was practicing all my audition pieces. I would teach it to them. So that way, if I can teach a routine, then I know.
That means you know it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So they were learning all my audition routines. They were auditioning for the team too. So
that's so cool.
That's been crazy. And again, just have fun. I feel like people, like, life is so serious. And yes, I love to win. And yes, I'm competitive. But I also know that I remember the process more than I remember the trophies. And I remember like the fun classes. I remember I never won anything dance wise. so I told you I wasn't in the good groups at all. And in college it was always second place. And I was like, man, I just want one. But I remember the late night practices. I remember going to Denny's messed up because you're like, hey, well, we have 5 a.m. practice right now. I don't have class until 9, but I don't want to go home. Shoot, those things, the bonding moments. And I try to create as much as I can. COVID kind of messed it up a little bit, but now that we're kind of a little more back to normal, I teach at 2 studios. And I used to have the teen seniors come over to my house. I had a pool at the time before COVID, before we filled it in. And I would have my teens and seniors from both studios come over, little mingle event. Let's just jump in the pool, have fun, party at Mr. Q's house. And for them to kind of get to know each other, because I didn't want that rivalry because we did compete against each other.
Got it.
And I told them all the time, I was like, well, what you're getting here is what you're getting there. So it's not a battle of me, it's a battle of who performs better. So don't get mad at me when they beat you, and vice versa. And again, my former kids, now they're on college teams together from the 2 different studios. So now they knew each other because of my little events in the backyard. So, you know what I mean? So just again, creating that community, because the dance world is so small. And luckily for me, I never burned a bridge, but the way things have worked out these past couple of years, and the little, oh my God, I remember you from high school. Oh my God, I know your mom. How did I get this job? Oh, shoot. Oh, I was at that one party with your uncle and now he's a casting director. I'm telling you, it is insane. And it becomes more apparent each year. And
wow.
Yeah.
That's a good point for people to remember too. I mean, that's why, not where you're trying to so hard to forge fake friendships or connections, just kind of not for the gram, but you know what I mean? You should just be mindful of those connections that you have with people that are genuine and keeping them positive, just because you never know where your paths may cross. And you're not doing it for opportunities per se, but it's just because you want to have a good reputation of who you are, where people can really want to work with you and have a positive memory of working with you, so that it can lead to something else. That's a great lesson to teach the younger kids, especially. I call them kids, but they're young adults, and this is something that they want to be mindful of in the spirit of competition, but not to the point where you
have to be nasty
creating a bad for yourself. Yeah.
After judging competitions, like I'm like so everything's subjective. And like I've judged some competitions in Nashville, Tennessee, or like these like Memphis or West Memphis, Arkansas, and I've heard some comments from certain judges, and I'm like, oh,
It's
so no
like
matter what,
that.
you know what I mean? And once I started judging, that's when I stopped caring. Like I said, winning is nice, sure. But no, again, nobody remembers the placing. They remember the dance. So if it was good, it was good. Even if it didn't win, nobody cares about that. Yeah, it feels great in that moment. But like some of my best work and some of the dances that have gotten me booked, they didn't win consistently, you know what I mean? But they were just memorable. And yeah, after I think I started judging in 2018 around Rams, I stopped caring about the win because, like I said, it's so subjective and everybody has these different backgrounds and different biases that they don't know they're projecting.
They're projecting.
Whether that's racially, whether that's song, like it's insane. And well, no, I always tell my kids, get me a good video. That's all I care about. You know what I mean? Like, yeah I can post, oh my God, first overall, cool. That'll last on the story for 24 hours. But good video, I can post that. You know what I mean? And that'll stay on my YouTube. And also being nice at comp, because I'm that person where I say hi to everybody. And whether you like me or not, I'm just who I am, and this is what it is. And even in classes, like I taught a master class a couple weeks ago, and a lot of my former teammates came and people that I didn't know. It was my first one in a long time. So I was just expecting literally my kids and maybe 2 teammates, but I had about like 40 people in class. And I was like, oh shoot, this is crazy. The best comment I got from one of my teammates was, your kids are so welcoming. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. My kids are great. I got lucky to get some super talented kids that want to dance. They walk into the room, and yes, we have our bad days, which is natural, but it's rare. You know what I mean? And for me to not have to tell you to take outside styles, and a lot of them work industry wise, and they train with the lab and they train with all these like kind of big names. And I'm like, I just get to see you on a Wednesday, Thursday for a couple hours and set a couple pieces on you. And like, this is awesome. But I know you're also dancing outside of my classes, outside of the normal to be there. So that's another thing. Things just kind of fell in, and the good hearts fell into my lap. And I was like, oh, wow. That's, and their parents, which is another thing. It is crazy how like this particular group of kids grew up together since they were 2, and now they're freshmen and sophomore years. And the drama is slim to none. You know what I mean? They all go to different high schools. So when they see each other at their different high school comps, it's fun because they're like, oh my God, yes, kill it. And I didn't realize that how strong that bond was until I teach at another studio, and a lot of the kids are transit. So we have a couple OGs that have been there since they were young, but a couple studios in the area are closed. So we have a lot of new kids, and I didn't realize how much that makes a difference in your dancing.
And the dynamic, between everyone.
And it is nuts because you can smell the love. It's weird. Like they truly are best friends. Their parents are best friends. Like it's intense. But no, and it really does create a great teaching environment. Yeah. Because
I love that. And maybe it's all these shows. I don't hardly ever watch TV, but you see or hear about like dance moms, and just sometimes it just gets a bad rap of like what that energy and that competitive spirit is like and how it shows up, whether it's in parents or the actual dancers themselves. But just hearing about such a positive.
they're around. Don't let it fool you. They're around.
Yeah.
But I do my best. Like I'm also very no nonsense. Like I don't care. So at the end of the day, it's for a plastic trophy. So what you're not going to do is tell me how to do my job. People call me ass sometimes, but I set as much fun as I have, I'm very specific. It's the Virgo in me. You know what I mean? It's like it's that part. Like I'm very demanding when it comes to when you walk in a class, this is how it needs to be. Parents, you're not going to talk to me crazy. I don't care how old you are. Like there's other studios down the street. Like I can recommend them. I have friends there. Like I don't care. You're like, so I'm very upfront to the point where sometimes my owners are like, you can't talk to them. I say, yes, I can, because you're owner. I'm teacher. You can't talk to them because you need their business. You pay me. And you pay me regardless if she's in class or not. So I don't need her.
Yeah, I am so with you. It's not worth it. Like not worth it.
I should not walk in my class uncomfortable. Like my dance room is my safe place. You know what I mean? Like the temperature's right. You got the vibes right. Like the smells right. Energy and attitude is contagious. And you know what I mean? If you're having a bad day, people can sense it already. And it's, but I don't like that. We're human, but I'm not having that on a daily basis. Nobody gets paid for that. You know what I mean?
No.
Close the door.
Take it somewhere else. No, I totally feel that. Like you said, it's supposed to be a safe space, positive space, a great learning environment. And anybody that's not contributing to that, gotta go. Well, you said something that made me think, like way back when you were a judge for the pro dance team playoffs that we
Oh
did,
my gosh.
just very like
Do it again. Do it again.
do it again. It was so much fun and way more work than I even envisioned. And I felt so happy to have you guys as judges because that was just a very eye-opening for me. So I was very curious listening to you talk about, judging and how subjective it is. And if I remember right, when I did the survey about whether people wanted to see some kind of competition at the pro level or not see it, I think you voted.
Yes.
Did you vote? Did you vote yes?
Sure did.
You did?
I sure did because I'm competitive. And I know I knew how talented my team was too. So I was like, when it comes to pro, I feel like maybe I'm one of the crazy ones, but I don't think this is the end. Like you shouldn't get to pro and just say, okay, I did all this training, so now I'm just want to fluff. No, like you did all this training to get her to break your back. Like why not push the envelope? And again, maybe it's because I didn't have as long of a dance career as most. You know what I mean? So I'm still like, nope. I want to do it. I want to push. And some people don't like that. They want to come and they just want to, and I have no problem with the booty pops and hair flips. Like that's fun too, especially on a hot day. I get it. But with all my choreography, how can I push it? How can I just be entertaining?
It just kills me that these amazing routines will be done once, twice, 3 times during the season.
Yeah. And
there's only so many games and you can't post video. And I'm just kind of like, there has to be something else or in addition to all these performances, all these hours and hours of practice that can celebrate what people do, maybe a competitive element to it too, but just like, what else can we be doing with this amazing content? Like I just feel like it's totally underutilized.
That's what, not saying that was the main reason, because I don't think that was, but that gets frustrating when, especially this year, I kind of choreographed a lot for the team and I couldn't post it.
Oh, serious?
And even taking away the pieces that I choreographed, we had some great routines this year. Shandon came in and gave us 2 originals. Rob Bridges' Twerkulator was one of my lines, personal favorites. We were the ratchet line. Any opportunity we could do, tap in or Twerkulator, like they already know, like that was it. That's later. But no, like there are so many good routines this year, and especially being on a team for 4 years, you see the
pressure.
Exactly, and it just sucks when it doesn't make sense. We pay for the licensing, we pay for the I call it the kids bop version. You know what I mean? And
right.
You can't post it, but then you see everybody else, and you're like, well, why can they do that? And I don't know. And I know every team is different when it comes to like the lawsuits and what they're dealing with, and all of that. But as a dancer and as somebody who literally posts everything that has to do combo wise, and you're telling me that I can only post pictures. You know what I mean? Like we are killing it. And Shandon and even Oscar, I was like, hey, I'm going to send you this video, but you can't post it. And they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, no, can't do it. Hey, we're going to get in trouble. Sometimes it's not even my director, it's the higher ups, and it's all that. You know what I mean? It's all of that.
The music licensing stuff. It's so frustrating.
Why? Yes.
Beyond frustrating. I practiced law and it was a little intellectual property law. So I get the principles around copyright infringement with music stuff, but it's also very just how much are these effing licenses where you can't just spend the money as a team, as an NFL or each club, whatever, just because it's so limiting and crippling that it's ridiculous.
But then you hear that and then you see teams like Golden State, you see teams like Chiefs, you know what I mean? And that's NFL and that's 2 different companies. You know what I mean? Yep. And I'm like, NFL and NBA who are posting, they could be getting sued in the back end of it, but
I did learn that with, I think the Chiefs, maybe it was at Pro Action, but they were kind of going through like how they do like a layover. So it's their routine.
Yes.
So like fake music that was created to emphasize certain
just
parts
so you
of
can post it.
Choreography, just so you can post it. And it's weird. I appreciate the fact that I get to see the dancing.
You should get to see the dancing. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's great. The music's match. And yes, it's hitting that same 5, but it's, dang well it doesn't go to that song. But
right.
It's us showing what we do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
part of it, like we're not just in the community, we're also dancers. And I know it's like you gotta figure out a way to showcase that because it's
I'm
hard.
right there with you. I'm hoping that that is something that I'm working on right now that can change that, because I feel like the biggest thing that we will offer in terms of entertainment, like I said, all the practice, all the hours of blood, sweat, and tears, it's just completely, it's like it's non-existent unless you're at games, which was why I'm trying to go as many places I can. It still breaks my heart that I couldn't see you
I'm gonna
guys.
join you next year on the tour. I'm joining you.
Yes, let's do it. But I was trying
Yes.
to get to LA, and the crazy thing for that particular game, like the game got moved because of whatever the heck was going on. Maybe it was COVID or snow, or I don't remember.
It was like
No, COVID took out
a
the
Sunday,
league, and they had to change.
that random Sunday, they pushed it back to Tuesday, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was the game that I was supposed to go to, and I know I couldn't go. But then when I saw that it moved, I was like, maybe it was just all meant to work out that way. Because I left. I was scheduled to leave that Tuesday morning, so I would have missed the game even if I did go down. But
Earlier.
anyway, but that sucks that the only people who can appreciate the performances are if you are in person at a game. Yeah, it's just not cool. And like you said, here you are choreographing for the team, all these amazing routines that you should be able to have as part of your portfolio as
They
well.
feel real, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I have the old ones, but the old ones weren't that good. I want seasons. Like,
I bet you even the old ones were really,
like,
really good too.
normally we don't perform together. We had a consistent pregame all season, you know, and like that was fun.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Was that new for you guys?
this whole year was new because COVID, we were cheering in an empty stadium.
Yeah.
But from the Coliseum days, yes, we would have a random halftime every now and then. And naturally, when it gets closer to playoffs and they're doing well and they're kind of projected, like you can see the season, how it's going to go. They'll start being like a French Montana or a T-Pain, you know what I mean? But as far as pregame, like that was new this year and I really liked it.
No, I love that. I did not know that all teams didn't have a pregame performance. Like, I just remember being like, what? Like, I thought all of them had, like, where they all traveled down the field and they just did some. I just had this in my mind that was a league-wide NFL. I mean, to me, that's what kind of made NFL different from NBA, was just, you know, the traveling choreography and just the lines and the formations. And I guess the game done changed a little bit. Did you guys do traveling, or did you just kind of go straight out?
We lined up in our formation, 50-yard line, and then you ran out
and walked out. Okay.
Yeah. Which I do like seeing some of the traveling stuff. I think Super Bowl, the Bengals had. I really like their tunnel. It was cool. I
thought we could talk Super Bowl. So we're talking Rams, and I know you've told the story a million times before in terms of like what inspired you to audition. But I want to hear, like, literally when you said, boom, I'm doing this, like, what was your thought process? We know that, like, the Ravens had their guys, and we know the whole rigmarole of, like, there were already male cheerleaders, but were you actually aware of, I'm about to do something groundbreaking, or was it just thinking about this opportunity? I know I'm qualified, I'm going to do it. Did you have any idea that everything else was going to flow from there?
I had no clue. I think that's the coolest part, is that there was no agenda, you know? I kind of approached it like I approached my high school dance team. Like when I walked into the room my senior year to try for varsity, there were no other guys, and you know what I mean? So it's to me, it was like, well, if I made that and all of a sudden the world, like, it blew up, like that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So I didn't even think that. I knew there wasn't guys on the team, but I didn't know that was a kind of an NFL, like a historic moment. I didn't know.
Got it.
I was just ready to dance. And again, you weren't going to kick me off for not being a good dancer. I was like, I'm going to be the best dancer in this room. If I do not get chosen, it's because you weren't ready for a boy. And that's just what it was. Like, I'm walking in, I'm going to wear my orange, you know, it's good color on me. Like, and whatever happens, happens. But I got to make sure my dancing is up to par. Because I also didn't know how heavily involved the organization was in the community. So I'm kind of walking in blind. I just knew my friends were on the team. I wanted to dance with them again. How can I make this happen? Let's show up, see what happens.
Love it. Well, it's good to even just hear, like, going back there, because I meant to listen back to this episode that Brittany and I did for Guys Just Want to Have Fun. But I just remember seeing the video covering auditions. You stood out, like you said, as like one of the best dancers in the room. That's what I saw from the videos. It was not like oh, here's a guy and that's it. It was just like, did you see his kicks? Like, we were watching over and over again, just like how talented both you and Napoleon were. And it was just really evident. So like you said, if they didn't pick you, it would have been some other reason, because it was definitely not the dancing, not the pizzazz, just like the showmanship, like everything was there. And of course, it did go crazy from there. I mean, I know sometimes like, you know, when you're part of the team and then there's just a lot of attention for any given reason around a couple individuals of the team, that sometimes it kind of potentially could throw off the dynamic of like the squad as a whole, you know, because here you have all this media attention swarming in. Did you feel any kind of, I don't know, like not tension, but just like disconnect? Was it a little jarring to come in as rookies and then having all of this like emphasis and attention on you your first year? Was it weird at all, or was it fine?
I mean, walking into a new team in general is weird.
Mm-hmm.
You're automatically nervous, you know what I mean? But I think I had very strong friendships on the team already, and people that I was really excited to see that I haven't seen in a while. For anybody who knew my friends on the team, they were able to kind of like, well, that's my boy, so nobody should have a problem, correct? Because if you're friends with me, then you're friends with him.
You're friends with me. Yeah.
And there were a couple whose parents thought we were stealing their spotlight. And I was like, that's weird. But it was, I mean, she got cut the next year, so.
Things happen. And it's not that I'm trying to like dig for anything like that's a negative experience, but these are just things that, you know, watching from.
It's natural, but it's happened.
Yeah. It just because it was a swarm, and then there was just a lot of conversation just throughout the community of like that whole dynamic of like, well, they're kind of coming in and stealing the show, and we've been doing this, and now everybody's interested, and I think it was real.
The organization did a good job, especially my director, Keely and Molly. There really wasn't anything that we did together. It was always another girl, or, you know what I mean? So even my first Good Morning America interview was the two of us and my friend Emily, you know what I mean, who we just met that morning. And she had to all of a sudden, these are boys. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you since finals. Like, hi, I'm Quinton. Nice to see you, girl. So in every interview, again, it was somebody different. And then they'll have media trainings with random groups of us. And there's a lot of team building and team training, especially that first year going into all of that craziness. Cause like there wasn't like, I didn't have a media training until after my like 11th interview, you know, like, because normally you make the team, a month and a half goes by, and then you have training and everything, but it was literally make the team the next day, boom. And you're like, oh my gosh, okay.
Here we go. Buckle up.
Strahan, how's it going, you guys? Like,
that is so cool. And I love that you guys even have the media training. It was not something that the Seahawks offered. I mean, they talk to you do's and don'ts and maybe talking points going into something, but like actual training and practice so that you feel comfortable. Because I could see that just being like a tidal wave of, wow, I'm not really ready for this, and just kind of
don't say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Quiet. Yes.
Yes.
What I loved about our media training is that it was more than just this is what you say, this is what you don't say. Like, it was more team bonding, like situations on what happens if you're in a conversation and you can sense that your teammate's in a weird position. Like, how do you interject and kind of save it? Or how can you, if you can tell that this is going down the wrong way, what can you do? And they'll put you in some situations, especially the first year, because of all the negativity around like, oh, they're changing the league and all that stuff. And yeah, it was nuts. But how can you, have you messed with any other players? Like, they would throw any kind of random questions at you. And then how can you divert it and take it back to, we are here to dance. We're here to have a good time. So excited to be, go Rams, you know?
If all else fails.
In your own words. And then again, we always had talking points for a lot of the big interviews. Make sure you get these 3 points across, no matter how long it takes. Like, you want to make sure that the goal of this interview is this, and this. So please do your best. If you don't get it, well, we can't penalize you for it, but try. Again, a lot of the stuff that we would go on would be family friendly, positive. Like, they were very adamant and very good filters. You know what I mean? She was like, if it's not a reputable source, if my grandma doesn't watch it, we're not doing it, because people would, you know what I mean? People were kind of sneaky. Yeah. But there was a couple interviews that kind of snuck in there, and you're like, oh, you tried to dig, but you're not getting nothing.
You're not getting anything from it. No, I mean, I think it's great that they prepare you. I love the approach at preparing you, just kind of having each other's backs in those moments, because depending on the outlet, I mean, if they're professional and like you said, it's kind of like the mainstream, I don't think they're looking for a gotcha moment by any means, but sometimes that happens.
They're out there. I'm telling you, they're out there, and they very sneaky, especially online.
I bet.
Yeah, Instagram blew up that whole year, and you'll think you'd be talking to somebody who is attractive, and you think, like, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, you're like, why are you asking me all these questions? And next thing you know, it's on like, it's weird, like some random small blog spot, and you're like, Oh,
What just happened?
I thought you were flirting, but you literally were just trying to get some tea. Gotcha. I'll be quiet.
Got it. Got it. Online, the craziness. And then, like you said, you have people swarming at you from all directions and having that filter.
Members were getting phone calls. It was scary.
You would actually get calls to your phone?
Like my family. Like I would like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my mom had got a call from some magazine in London, and I was like, how'd they find her work number? Like my cousin who's in Vegas that I don't really talk to like that, she had got it, and I was like, oh, hold on, I'm a little nervous because you got a lot of characters in my family, and I'm like, you
don't need to talk to everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it was weird. And there was at first we were a little nervous because there was some times we were like, we'll be walking in the mall, and people, I mean, again, we've been lucky with good people, but I'm like, what would happen if somebody just ran? I mean, you can find my home phone number, you can find my address. Yeah, I don't have security. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what happens if it's not about the whole male cheerleader thing? And we're
next thing you know, you're exposed.
Nuts. Like, and that was a real concern we had for a little bit. I would say until probably about preseason, and once that kind of died down a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it was fun, but it was a little scary at the same time.
A little scary, yeah.
Stuff, and I was like, what? How would you find like? I've always kept addresses and phone numbers offline, so I was like, I don't know how people are finding these things, and I'm nervous to open this box. Like, we'll open it in the garage. I'll record it just in case. Like, if this is it, at least it's on camera. Like.
But for real though, like that would have been a little scary, I would imagine. The world that we live in now is just a little too crazy. And like you said, like peace and love, but for people who may have had a dissenting opinion and just being vulnerable in that way. And it wasn't just like mysterious Quinton, you know, first and last, like you were everywhere. All over the place. So.
Yeah. It was fun.
No. See, now we're gonna circle back because I totally forgot to ask. Tell me about like the dance that you do at the end of your classes. I totally meant to ask that while we were talking about and I'd kick myself if I forgot to ask. So go ahead.
No, so I believe that everything needs to be celebrated. And it's for me, it's for the kids, and it's even for adults. Like at first it was weird. Like you're right, there's a grown man's coming in and playing Dora the Explorer, you know what I mean? But I like I said, dancing and completing something I think needs to be celebrated. And even no matter whether it's a solo, whether it's a class combo, like we had fun, and it's kind of just a fun way to laugh at it. And it's to the point where there was a new girl came to the studio, and she knew that at the end of her solo, when she finished, she would get the We Did It dance. And she was waiting for 2 months. And I was like kind of studio comps and competition. I think you have to like ride the wave. So you don't want them to peak too fast. You don't want that perfect performance the first time out. You know what I mean? Because one, I'm going to be bored, and you can only go down from there. You know what I mean? So I kind of, you know what I mean? And especially kids, we're not consistent. We're human. I understand. And that's something I've learned throughout my years, because I used to, what is that? You're trash. Do it again. No, that's gross. Do it again. It came from love, but I was mean. Because I only knew what I was taught, you know? So different. I had to change up a little bit, but she would tell her mom, like, he's never going to finish my solo, Mom, because I just want to do it. And like legit for like 2 months, like I had a private with her right before Super Bowl and didn't have one until probably 2 weeks ago. And her solo has like 10 seconds left, but I'm cleaning, you know, I was like, yeah, I can finish that later. It's fine. So I'm just cleaning, making sure I like stuff. And she's like, are we going to finish today? And I was like, no. And you can see the energy drop. Until last week where she was like, we did it! And then she's freaking out. She's excited. And so it's just something that, I mean, I didn't realize people looked forward to, but it's just something fun. And it's close, and it's, I
love that. No, and I like that you're hearing the kind of the process leading up to it. So it's not like once you play that song, it literally
you know you're done. Like,
yes. And it's literally an accomplishment. Like, because I think I only see obviously when you post it, and so I'm like, oh, this is some fun song, but not thinking about like what led up to.
And they also know that long rehearsals have stopped, because for me, choreo, as much as I love it, it's hard, and it's weird to say that. Like I do a lot, especially when it comes to the studios. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll start a dance in August, and that bad boy won't get finished until the first, like literally the day of comp. Like, and we've been at it. Call time's 9, you guys. I need you there at 7:30. We have to finish the last 6 8 counts. Sorry. And one studio, they know the process, and sometimes that's my best piece. because I was taking so long to clean it to get up to that point. And I'm like, I already know what I want to do with the ending, but I got to get the beginning right, like certain things. That We Did It song is kind of for me, like, like, okay, I did it. That one's done. She, like, because some of them, I work with all levels, all ages. So sometimes I'm like, okay, these 6-year-olds, like, I love them, but dang, this one took a long time to get. But so yeah, so it's just a big old celebration.
I love it. And tell me what you love about choreographing now that you're moving into the collegiate world and doing obviously for pro, like,
oof.
What inspires you, kind of like, what's your whole approach, or do you have, if you were to describe your style of creativity, how would you describe your choreography and your process?
The coolest part is that seeing, like, I have friends that, one of my teammates, Maddie, she was my first college routine. She went to Cal Poly Pomona. They don't compete. This was just for a basketball game. And for her to see, I mean, we have 10 years of friendship now, for her to see my first routine and how much I struggled and how much I didn't know what I was doing, to now I choreograph her winning numbers at her high school. You know what I mean? Like, that process and the way she talks about it, she's like, you don't understand. Like, it's crazy. Like I was in, like, you were teaching me, you were a mess. You didn't know your counts. You didn't know anything. Like, you didn't like it. And then now, like, just seeing the process, because she was on Rams with me, you know what I mean? So she saw me doing my first routine, my humps. It was the January 2019. It was against the Cowboys. And I was like, my coach asked me to do a routine. And I was like, oh my God, for playoffs? Yes. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Down, let's go. So seeing, having her knowing that process. So for me, choreo, I mean, I just like creating. And I think I like to stand out. And when it comes to music choices, I'm really, especially when it comes to—
You're good with the music choices.
Like, it's fun because, again, I judge too. So I know what it's like to sit through 3-4 days, 15 hours of just the same song, the same genre, or like, oh my God, you guys are all doing the same Britney Spears jazz. Can we get out of that? You know what I mean? Or is it Todrick? I'm tired of hearing Chapstick. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. And like, there's more than that. And especially for jazz, like, I'm a jazz boy. That is, I live and die by it. And I was a little nervous this year. My 11 singers at Delos, they were like, we all want jazz solos. And I was like, what? Like, all of you guys. So I think I had one lyrical and the rest were jazz, because I think there's 50 shades of everything. You know what I mean? So I was like, how can I make sure that, one, if I'm choreographing all these solos, they all can't look the same. So now I'm stressed about that. But I was like, song choice. How can I make sure that I have 11 different types and shades of jazz? Like, you know what I mean? So I have a No Diggity cover, so it's super, super sexy for her. I have a Black and Gold. I have Jumpin' Destiny's Child. I have a Dancing Machine, Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Sexy and I Know It, the blues cover. Like, so things like that, like when they go back to back, yeah, that's a Quinton routine, but they're all different and they're all tailored to those specific kids. And especially when it comes down to routines for pro level, I'm like, it's getting hard now because a lot of teams now have to send their music to the higher ups who aren't dancers. You know what I mean? So now you kind of have to play
like, they know better, like, what's a good
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we didn't have to do that, which was great. That what I know. Because this past season we kind of just chose, like, my coach was like, okay, what dance are you guys doing this week? And like, okay, cool. Here we go. I want to do Twerkulator. I wouldn't want to do your plug. Rob Rich is the plug for you if you ever listen. I did Twerkulator about 50 times this season. My favorite routine. That
was one of the best ones from Pro Action.
Yes, I'm telling you, that was that video that I messed up, so I was a little embarrassed. However,
you were in the moment.
We recovered. But no, so like now you kind of, I think for pro, I'm trying to find that balance of, again, the demographic for NBA and NFL is a little different, but yeah, I like throwbacks, but I don't like top 40 because it gets old. So like me doing Olivia Rodrigo right now, I don't want to listen to that in December. You know what I mean? Like, and it sucks but the higher ups, they want that. They want the Let's Get Loud. So I'm like, I can't do another dance to that damn song. Like, you know what I mean? Like as much as you guys gonna want it, I can't. So that's my struggle right now, because now I just got asked to be back on Pro Action staff. So I'm really excited.
Congratulations. Yes.
So now getting music ready for that. And again, like, some of my best numbers weren't the most popular songs. So it's like, okay, well, how do I do that then? Like, 'cause I know they're gonna want the crowd hyper isn't needed, but it's like a lot of the stuff that I like, that I know I'm inspired by, is older. So it's
But there's something about older and classic where when it comes on, you still want to hear it. I'm so
yes.
with you. Like whatever the audition dance is, sometimes, over the years when I was auditioning, like it would be a cool song maybe around that time. But if you're doing that audition routine throughout the season, by the time November, December hits, you're just like,
thank you. I don't want to hear Sucker
I
by
don't
the
want to do this dang on. Oh, we danced to Born This Way for auditions one year, and it was great in that moment. But man, every time Born This Way was on the like game list, you could
Yes,
not get excited
Gaga.
about it, and you just could not do it. You hated the song, you hated the choreo, you just hated everything, and it was just because it was just so played.
Overdone so much. And especially, I mean, if you're auditioning March, April, May, you know what I mean? If you're lucky enough, your season goes into freaking January, February. Like,
Yeah,
that's 8 months. And
oh, that damn song.
you know what I mean? Of the same song. I mean, I know, and sometimes we do it once or twice. This year was different. We were able to kind of reuse, which was I liked. I really liked that song "Sway" by Michael Bublé because I always do like Aladdin, and I was like, how can I make that like dun 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 dun? Like, how can I make that concert style heavy bass like and make it to where if you did it at a game, it doesn't look elementary or doesn't look like teenagers. You know what I mean? And that's why I really want to use it. So in a couple months, if you see it, just know we got it right. We figured out the. But that's one that I'm like, I really want to use it, but I know that some people don't know the song or they think Michael Bublé, like, oh, whatever. But I know what I can do and what I can create with that. So I'm like, okay, well, I killed it with Senorita, my last Latin jazz. I was like, I can do it with this one.
You can do it again. You can do it.
And then just trying to figure out styles too. So this season's hard, not gonna lie. We'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. No, but I was curious if you were, just such a music buff that you were kind of like, I hear a song and I know I want to create to it. Or, I mean, there's so many mixes and I know they have mixes. Oh my God, I was just at a dance competition here in Washington. And I mean, it was great. It was awesome seeing the kids of all ages. It was a hip hop competition.
Oh, yeah.
But man, I felt like I was literally trapped in a video game, like with all the sound effects, like the gun clicks and the freaking. I was just like, there were so many sounds, and it just, my brain was just like, oh my gosh, I can't handle it. And I know that that's maybe a way to get around some things copyright-wise with creating these mixes, but it could be a lot at times.
I think for this year, especially for Pro Action, I think they really want to try to keep the song true because you want to sing it. You know what I mean? Be guitar strums and bass, gunshot, 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 doorbell. You know what I mean? Like I want to sing the chorus, and if it's chopped up a little bit, sure. But you want to kind of keep that song through and be able to play it and jam out.
Yes.
To it,
Yes. Not everything needs an accent sound effect. I'm so with that program. I would love that too. Just because I do see that happening a lot at pro and I'm like, I didn't know if that was like a collegiate style type of thing, but
it's very competition. So trying to get away from that and just allowing the song to kind of, if we love the song, we love the song. Let's enhance it a little bit. Let's speed it up. Let's, add a little bit, but you don't have to chop and screw it. Like no T-Pain over here.
No more chop and screw. I love it.
I mean, honestly, music, I get inspired by the most random things. Like the best story I have is the same year I made Rams, 2018. I had a senior small group at my studio, Delos, and I changed it 11 times. I would get halfway through, guys, I hate it. Nope, can't do it. And they know my process. And even my kids nowadays, like if I'm in rehearsal and I have you do it full out and then I walk to my Spotify and I'm searching, it's over. Like,
oh shoot.
Because that means I'm not feeling it. And I've passed the point where trying to fake that. Like if I don't feel it now, I won't feel it later. And I will change the day of comp. Like let me get out, let me nip it in the butt now.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out this dang song. We had it was January 11th. Then we had comp on the 31st. Like we had 2 weeks and I'm knocked out at home, just had a rehearsal. It's 4 a.m. You know what I mean? I'm knocked out. TV's on accident, And then I hear this Candy Crush commercial. I'm not even kidding. I had just rolled over. Like, so you're kind of awake a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? What is that? Get my phone. I Shazam it real quick. And I missed it. And I was like, oh no. So I'm typing in lyrics like, okay, I found the song on a Candy Crush commercial, undefeated all season. Like, that's how I got my inspiration. And it was the most random idea that I had in my brain. I was like, you guys, I want you to kind of get broken up with on stage. I was like, so I'm going to, I like character dance. So I was like, I'm going to add little sound bites. And I was like, but it's pretty much going to be your boyfriend calling you. One girl's going to walk on stage and she's just going to like break down, and then you guys are going to run on and break down with her. And that song by Bjork, it's Oh So Quiet, which a lot of minis do. It's the most annoying song on the planet. And it's oh so quiet. Shh, that one.
Okay.
It's annoying, but for a senior group to do it, it changed up the whole, you know what I mean? Because now these girls are crying on stage. You're funny. As a judge, you're like, how do I laugh at this? Like, this is funny. Oh, she just hit 12 pirouettes. Oh, okay. Like, and you know what I mean? So it was one of those situations where it was just a fun outside the box dance, but a 4 a.m. commercial of Candy Crush came on, and that's how I created it in one practice. Like 3 hours. I was like, you guys, I'm ready. Can I see you on Saturday? Like, I know it's comp time for your high schools, but I need 3 hours. I don't care what time. I'll text your parents. Like, and one of my most memorable pieces, and it's like stuff like that happens all the time. I love throwbacks. Like I said, heard it through the grapevine. I'll hear it, and I'm like, I think I can create something really cool with that. Hold on, I'll experiment, and then I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a hit. Because song choice to me is everything. Like, I want, especially my mom. She's a boogier, and I'm like, what would my mom like if she was to sit at another competition? What would she dance to, and what would get her to do this? And let's see how I can get, because if I can get her to do it, that means, and a lot of the judges nowadays are from my age to about 50, you know what I mean? So the music is the same. So it's either going to be a throwback rock, or for me, it's always throwback disco funk. Like, I love Yoogie Yoogie. I have some routines of Shake Your Body by Michael Jackson, like stuff like that. Like, I forgot about this song. Like, yes. Lay Freak, absolutely. One of my favorites this year. So just song choices and just stuff to have fun. Because again, I don't want to sit through 15 hours of contemporary solos, and I will do it too, but your songs are, you know?
Yes. No, I love hearing the process, especially when you're being challenged as choreographers. So like you said, 11 dancers coming to you for solos, or trying to just have something that's unique for each and specific to each dancer or for each team, like just not just taking one style and just putting it on a team, but really trying to tailor it and do something that's outside of the box, but also somewhat true or to who they are. It's such
who you are.
Like
it's crazy. And it's crazy to look back at routines. Like, I just look back to the Arizona State's routine, and I look at it and I'm like, it has its nuances of me. I'm like, it's so crazy that it doesn't look like a me routine, but you know it is, because there's certain things you're like, oh yeah, I can tell. Or even when my kids, they again, the high school comp is small, the world is small, and they'll text me like, hey, did you do a routine for this school? And I'm like, yeah, we can tell. Stop choreographing stuff against us. And I was like, well, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's crazy. You want to put that signature on it, but you also, like you said, you want to tailor it to each team. I think that's what I prided myself on, is that I don't come with anything prepared, which is a blessing and a curse. Yeah. Every team is different, and my style is different. And I can't expect you, who I don't know, to pull out a routine that I gave my kids who train with me on a daily basis. You know what I mean? It's not going to look the same. It's not going to be set. So I can't give you that. So I have to figure, okay, let's improv a little bit. Let's play with 4/8 counts. You guys get it? Okay. You guys are more technical. Okay. So let me boost the legs and the plies and all that stuff. And you're not as stylized, or you're hella stylized. No technique. I can do that too. You know what I mean? Like, it's got it. And just, again, give each team a custom, like, if you're paying that rate, you're going to get a custom routine. That's just what it is.
I love it. Okay. So 4 seasons, right? With the Rams.
4 seasons.
4 seasons. Do you have a favorite season?
Ooh. That's hard. Like, off the back, I want to say my first season, because everything was new, everything was different. I didn't know what I was getting into. Super Bowl happened for the first time in all the media with that, and that experience in Atlanta. Yeah,
that was crazy, by the way. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that. Like, your rookie year, having it culminate in the Super Bowl appearance, which was just like, man, at least I feel like because of all the media attention, you got to see a little bit more of what the cheerleader experience was like.
Absolutely.
At Super Bowl. That was not really, I don't think, covered like that before. Talk to me about that. Did you have a favorite moment from that Super Bowl experience? And then we'll get back to your favorite season.
Ooh, well, I have a selfish one. So I'm a big, grew up watching Nickelodeon. And one of my promos during that crazy 2-week process was Double Dare 2000. And
stop. Sorry, that's my age.
When I got that email, because we have like a promo list and everything, and I was like, no, I'm not on Double Dare. And just seeing the slime, and I think Russell Wilson was there. I think McCaffrey was there. I think Fitzpatrick maybe. And just, again, they're just big ass kids. I mean, just being there, 1, Super Bowl, you're excited. 2, you're like, hold on, McCaffrey's here. 3, it's Double Dare 2000. Like, I see the slime. I smell the slime. Like, this is literally nostalgia. And this is literally childhood. Like, my childhood was watching this, watching Guts, watching Legends of the Hidden Temple. So, like, being there, like, I had a whole moment. I was like, oh my gosh, can I touch the slime? Like, but honestly, like that, we worked so much.
Yeah, I bet. And just to back up real quick, you were there 2 weeks ahead of time, not like the week of. You got to experience.
I want to say 10 days.
But that's huge. Like we literally got, well, maybe we got there like the Tuesday, but it really felt like you guys were there for the good really portion of all the festivities. That's awesome.
I'm not being dramatic. I'm going to make sure that I'm not lying. But yeah, we were there for a while because there was 3 different groups. So they sent one group first, and they sent the second group, and then they sent the third group. And yeah, group A, that was early mornings, late nights, and on top of that, it's a new city. Of course, I'm going out. So like, so trying to balance that, like, but Quinton, you really can't go crazy because you really have that 2 a.m. call time downstairs. Like, and I was already late for a couple events a couple months before that. So I was like, do not be that person. Like,
yes.
Boundaries and be responsible, but I still want to see Atlanta. I never really been. So I was like, I want to go out. So all of that stuff. And it was true bonding. The exhaustion that was happening. And I mean, they're fed and everything, all that fun stuff naturally. But just the way that city shut down, that traffic was in, like, I had a promo that was 7 miles away and took us an hour and a half. I was like, we're getting escorted. So I'm like, the fact that like this is nuts. And it was snowing a little bit. It was cold, and so that was kind of cool. I didn't know Atlanta got that. Like, it was just a big like mind situation.
Yeah, all the lights and it was that had to be just so. I mean, it's Super Bowl. It shuts everything down. I mean, and then you have it in your city. You'll talk Super Bowl, but you'll say that was your favorite season.
Yeah. I think when it comes down to expectations, because there were none. So everything we did, even if I didn't know an experience was bad, I thought it was so cool because I was like, oh, you know what I mean? I got in trouble a couple of times, you know what I mean? Took some pictures in some random places that you shouldn't do, you know what I mean? I didn't know, but like, I remember it, so it was a good time. That season was fantastic. Just naturally because of everything that happened, but I think also the bond that it created with a lot of my other teammates that I didn't know that well, because it really solidified, especially those late nights. We traveled so much that year too. We traveled a lot within my span of being on the team. And we went to Korea.
That's right. I remember that.
Korea was before preseason. And that was intense. And again, you know these people, you know your teammates, but realistically, you're together 2 days a week. So being able to travel the world, I would have never gone to South Korea. I think, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't. I'm very Spain, Italy. Let's go. Like, you know, but that was fun, and I like those pictures. I still look at all the time. Like, oh my God, I remember this. Like seeing my coach so happy because she wasn't working at that time. She was just allowing us to kind of be, and she was able. Again, she was taking it in too, and she always says like, "Take it all in, you guys. Remember, they're supposed to have fun before every game, before every big promo." And it was at this last Super Bowl when she said it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." She has her little saying that she always kind of like, take it all in, you guys. And you're like, oh, this is a big moment then, because she only says it for big moments.
For big moments, yeah.
So, I would say first season, but then I also like this last season as well. So
because you got the trophy.
But even before that, I think, knowing that COVID year sucked and I didn't want to audition after that because I didn't like dancing for nobody. I'm not going to like, that's just what it was. I was like, it sucks. And I was like, is this the way it's going to be forever? I don't know. I also don't like wearing masks. So I was like, especially dancing, I'm like, I can't.
It's just not,
I know it's more than just about me. But it's hard.
But the experience of it changed everything. For
you trained, and now I got some good lungs on me. And like, but then the whole captain situation and going to pro action for the first time as a dancer, there's a lot of things, like a lot of firsts for me personally that happened.
Mm-hmm.
My hair was looking good because I dyed it, and I liked seeing the picture, like stupid stuff, like like uniforms and having other guys on a team that I like. It was just such a fun time. And then naturally Super Bowl and playoffs and all of that nonsense of the stress and the gray hairs on my chin now, the end game, and just literally. But I guess I would say after speaking about it, first season takes the cake.
Takes the cake. Okay.
Takes the cake.
Well, I kind of had it in reverse where we won the Super Bowl first and then we showed up the next year and lost. But just having 2 Super Bowl appearances is huge because there's so many teams that still have not gone ever in their whole like existence. And it's so cool that you got to experience both Super Bowl appearances.
Nice.
Like, yeah,
it's
crazy.
I'm telling you, like looking back, it's like I have a story that like nobody can say. Like the 2 Super Bowls, the championship, I literally was on like 6-7 pro tours, which that by itself to me means a lot because I know they are very specific on who they pick. And the fact that I kept getting asked to keep playing back, I was like, oh, I'm doing my job, stuff like that. Like it's crazy. And that was probably one of the reasons I was like, you know what? I think I can leave because there's nothing else I can do. Like I was captain. I think now it's time to open up that door for somebody else to lead and somebody else to get the opportunity to lead because I do believe people stay too long. And I know it's hard.
What would you pick as the limit? What would you pick as like the age minimum requirement and how long they can do it?
I get why we have like kind of a hidden rule of 21. I get it. I think you are. I mean, even looking at me, like 18-year-old Quinton and 20-year-old, well, I was still a mess, but we're more of a head-on right-ish mess. But when it comes to traveling, it's easier when you have somebody that's 21. And it just makes sense. Honestly, I would say 21 because you would be out of college. So live, experience your college life, do all that fun stuff. And then, you know what I mean? Don't cut your college years short because you want to be on the team. Like, so I would say 21. And honestly, I think I would say 5 years. I think 5 sounds right to me because again, every year that I was on this team was different. Like Super Bowl, we lost. We made it though. Second year, didn't make playoffs. Like, and you're like, oh my gosh, ooh, do I want to do this? Like,
this is only fun when we're winning.
Yeah, I didn't like that energy switch. It was weird. And third year was COVID, but there were still a lot of good and positives that came out of that. And then the fourth year was another Super Bowl, but the whole new stadium, so I also know that you have to go into your last year knowing it's your last year. I think we need clarity as professional cheerleaders. I think this, unfortunately, does become a part of our identity. Some people can cut it off. I did an okay job at cutting off to a certain extent. But I think you feel, well, am I ever going to be cool? Like, is this the coolest? Is this the biggest thing I'm ever going to do in my life? You know what I mean? And I think I got lucky with being a sign dancer as well, that this wasn't the only thing that I was doing. This wasn't the main focus. My coach made it very obvious. Like, this is the stepping stone, Quinton, stepping stone. And she says it, like literally said it every year, like stepping stone. So just kind of reiterating. But I say that you need to go into it being your last year, knowing I didn't. But when
did you have that moment of like you said, I think I've done all I can do? Was it after the Super Bowl win or?
No, I mean, I was toying with, it was around December. I was toying around like, a lot of my friends are leaving, but no, I think I can do a fifth and final because everybody feels like they got cut short because of the COVID year. But I still think we did a lot. Like we only missed, I think, 4 games. We cheered at 4 of them. It was weird. I get it, but it was still a season. But it wasn't honestly until Super Bowl morning. And I woke up and I put on my face mask and I was washing it off in the shower and I started crying. And I was like, what's happening? And I was like, Quinton, hold on, check in. So I'm talking to myself in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like check in. What's wrong? Like, are you nervous? Are you excited? And I couldn't figure it out. And then I walked into the stadium and I'm kind of a high energy person. I always kind of vibrate in a high frequency. You know what I mean? And I was like, what? Like, did somebody die? Like something's happening. And I had the cold brew. And I was like, it's something, you know what I mean? Am I like, it was weird. And then it wasn't until I got into the tunnel and they were about to run out. And I was like, oh, I could not hold back the tears. And I was like, Quinton, your concealer is going to be a mess. You haven't even gotten in front of any cameras yet. Like I was behind the pyro guys and they were going to run out for our like tunnel thing. And I was like, I'm sitting there and we lined up, me and my other captain, Sammy, we were the first ones out. And so I'm looking around and I was like, oh, I know why.
You're about to make me cry. Why? What is happening?
Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, in that moment, I was like, oh, my body knows, like my heart knew, and which
Your
is
heart
weird.
knew.
Like my heart, like from the moment I woke up that morning, like, oh no, this is it. So take it all in. And then from there, I was just crying every 5 seconds. Like I run out, I'm doing the tunnel. Well, one, it took us forever to get out, like for them to introduce us. So I'm sitting there like trying to hold back tears, looking at people and like, stop it. And then it's coming down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have a towel with me. So I get out there, we do our thing, and then we run for like the national anthem and everything. And that's it. The national anthem always gets me, regardless of who it is. And it's the Rockets Red Glare, that section over. And then on top of that, you had the Negroes spiritual anthem. And I said, God damn it, dang it. Yeah. And then on top of that, I forgot who did Lift Every Voice and Sing. And then that reminded me of my elementary school. I was in this like African-American spelling bee, and I had to know that song like by the, you know what I mean? So bringing up those memories, I'm like, oh my God, this is a kind of full circle moment. And I'm sitting there like
bawling your eyes out.
Again, China. And my teammate Blake was like, Quinton, knock it off right now. You're going to mess up my makeup. Because it was her last year too. But she had already knew. She was like, she got engaged. She was like, this is it. Like, but no. So I again, like I said, I knew that morning, and I kind of toyed with, I didn't want it to be. So I was like, well, I can go back for a fifth and final and kind of know. Then at the same time, I was like, there's just been so many opportunities that I couldn't do because I was on it. And not saying it was a hindrance, because it's not. Like, this team changed my life. But like teams like the 49ers, like I can't choreograph for them if it was a conflict of interest. You know what I mean? And for me, as much as I would die to just live on stage, you know what I mean? But I know that I'm still auditioning for these commercials and music videos and all that stuff. And that's not changing. And it's actually getting better, because now that I'm kind of solidified in my look, I know how to knock out and kill a Zoom interview. Like, I'm telling you, the ring light, the back, like not this background, but I have a whole thing in the living room. Like it's a whole thing, you know what I mean? And I have a very commercial look, and I think the hair helped a little bit to just make me stand out a little bit more. But it's,
you have a Funko Pop in your honor,
and a Lego.
Crazy.
I'm telling you, and that was another moment I was like, oh, I really have to go. I
have made my
a Lego. It will always be in the SoFi Stadium in Miniland, like forever, with the blonde hair. I said they really did it. It wasn't just generic. So I toyed with it even until the deadline to send in your resignation letter. I was like, I don't want to. It's fine. I'll go back. And I was like, no, you know what? And I'm very big on my word. Like, I already told myself I'm quitting, but actually making it happen, I was like, and I had some friends to keep me accountable who were on the team before. And I was like, hey, I'm going to do it. Okay, well, I want to see the letter. You better record it when you press send. And that was the main reason why I recorded that stupid video. And I was good until I proofread it. And then that's when
that's when the tears came. This is happening.
Oh, it's happening. Because again, so the biggest part of my life so far has been a Rams cheerleader. But I also know that there's more to Mr. Q than just, and I also know that what I did will always be there. I mean, look, you can just look around the league, you know what I mean? And even you know what I mean? So like it's okay. And I think that can always be my cool fun fact. You know what I mean? Tell us something about yourself. I was the first one. And you can look it up. So I think it's fine. I think my mom got to go to 2 Super Bowls. My dad chose to watch it from the house. That's on him. But twice. But yeah, I mean, it kind of cool experiences for my family. Like when we had the London game, my mom and my sister came, when that stuff, that was really fun. She still has season tickets, so I'll be at every game next season. This is her last year of the ticket. She's like, I'm gonna get it for 2 just in case. But so it'll be fun being on the outskirts, because I think it allows me to, one, be uncomfortable. This time of the year sucks anyway.
Yes.
I'm done the choreo. It's you get in your head, am I duo? The money is different. You know what I mean? I'm not choreographing every weekend. Now it's just competitions. So now I'm kind of have time off, and I'm like, oh, I'm bored. What am I doing with my life? So then on top of that, I always call them like the May blues, because then life picks up again June, July. And now I kind of closed that chapter. So now you're like, oh, hold on. And then I wanted to move out as well. So it's like, ooh, what am I doing? But I do believe being uncomfortable is the best thing for me, because I'm so, as much of a free spirit as I would like to think I am, there is some kind of structure of me knowing that, okay, I can book the world on a Tuesday, but I know that at 7:30 I have to be in LA. So and how long is it exactly going to take me? Because I need to like see if I can. How long can I stay at that private until I have to like actually leave?
Actually, really,
you know what I mean?
leave. Yeah, yeah.
But now I have Tuesday and Thursday nights open, and now I'm like, oh, now I can probably go train, and I can go take class, and or if not, I can have that night off. Like Quinton, it's okay to go home. You know, I'm weird. I'm like, I would rather be somewhere else. Like, even though I love my house, so I just like being around people, and I don't know. I'm very big on energy, and I love being around people. But now I am uncomfortable. It's cool to say because I know that me opening up those, and it's only 2 days, but me opening up that space.
Oh man, it opens up. So it's more than those 2 days. Trust. I mean, between the practicing to be ready for practices, the promos, the game, like, but it does open you up to other opportunities, and I think that
things have been just falling in. So I'm very curious to see what happens in these next couple months when now that because I've always made everything work, like. And there's been nights where I'm like, oh my gosh, Quinton, you have 2 hours of sleep and you have to get back up. Like, you're nuts. Like, why do you do this to yourself? But I also love what I do. So it's hard to find that balance. But I love this fact that I can say, yeah, I literally did X, Y, and Z on 2 hours of sleep and I made it. So if I can do that, I can do something else. You know what I mean? Like, it's such it's so unhealthy. That's toxic.
They're all good things. I mean, and while you're young and can absorb all of that and just ride off of that.
My mom, they teach that, like, do it all because, and I was like, well, I'm not planning on having any kids soon. So let me just travel the world and take over. You know what I mean? No. Absolutely not. No relationship, no nothing. I want no commitments to anything. So I think this will allow me to try things that I was never able to do and work with people that I wasn't able to work with, and just, again, allow the universe to kind of just fill that space.
I'm still putting out the Dancing with the Stars. Like, I mean, you have had quite a bit of opportunities. I mean, the Ellen show, like you're Dancing with Twitch that you saw, like you said, that inspired you to even want to dance. I mean, that whole bit was so cool.
And that video, I don't know what happened. I don't know who posted it or what page it's on. Okay, but when I tell you that it got about like 22,000 views. I post it every year. It's been 3 years. You know what I mean? I posted it 3 weeks ago. Friday of last week, I was like, why is my Instagram, like, it was something was weird. I was like, what's happening? I was like, did Ellen post it? Did Twitch post it? And I looked and I was like, no, they didn't say anything. And because I was getting these weird followers, not weird, a certain demographic. I was getting a lot of 40 plus, very Ellen-like viewers that were coming and commenting. And I was like, what the heck? The video went from like 22,000 views to like 400,000 in a day. And I was like, what's happening? Yeah. So then I was like, and this is Friday. Like, I'm at the studio with like some of my seniors, and I was like, y'all, this keeps like I keep ding and just comments. So I was like, did somebody like hack my stuff? Like, I was like nervous. You know, I mean, that Instagram was a life. That's your new LinkedIn. You know what I mean? So it's like, shoot. Yeah. So then I wake up Saturday, it's at 600, and I was like, what the heck? I had already went up like 700 followers, and I was like, where is this playing? And then Sunday came, 1 million views on this damn video, and I was like, what? Yeah. And it's still climbing, and I don't know what. I think it's at 1.5 right now. And I'm like, I don't know where it's at. And it's just that one. And it's that same demographic. I'm telling you, it's weird. It's like a lot of just that the mom, dad age, you know, watching. I don't know where it's playing.
Well, you were hitting some of the old school like dance moves too.
And they're liking it, but I'm like,
that is so
nuts.
Crazy. 1.5 million views.
That's actually, hold on. This is crazy. Let's check.
So was it on TikTok or something? Because sometimes the TikTok thing takes off, and then they come following you on Instagram.
But no, because the TikTok video kind of plateaued. Like, no, this video is now 1.6.
That's crazy.
And I got like almost. I was at 23.9, and now I'm at 25.1 when it comes to follow. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm not complaining, but this is cool. But
it's setting you up for kind of
gotta pump out the dance video since you're watching. So I'm like, here we go. Let's like masterclass on Wednesday. So no, yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, this is also exciting. Like I'm geeked about like what's next for you, because I just see, especially just having the time and the space, creativity will probably explode even more so than now, and just opportunities coming your way. I mean, you've got to do some really, really cool things, and I'm just so excited to see like what you do next. And I totally see you on Dancing with the Stars. That will make me watch the show again, because I kind of OD'd and I had to kind of, But I would love to see you.
I would die.
Love to see you on Dancing with the
There's some
Stars.
things that are in the works that I'm hoping that would be a stepping stone to get to it.
To get there, yeah.
I honestly can probably retire after that. Like, I know it's just a reality show, but that show literally has inspired like everything that I do. I'm like, oh, it needs to be like Lacey Swimmer. Like, give me like that shoulder. Give me that shoulder.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't think I'm a celebrity and I'm not a professional ballroom dancer. So I'm like trying to figure out how I can.
No, the celebrity part is what's going to like go into this. You're going on the celebrity side. It's going to just be.
And I'm purposely going to suck for the first 3 rounds when it happens.
Yeah.
They love the growth. They love the growth. So I'm gonna have 2 left feet. I'm gonna tell them to give me my shoe size 4 sizes too small and like make me struggle.
Oh man, I see it though, Quinton. I totally see it. You have this infectious energy. You would be a delight to be in everybody's homes in that kind of way. You're just the type of person that people root for. And so I see you on the show. It's happening. I've said it. We're just putting it out there.
Yeah, they don't like dancers, but I was like, I'm gonna play the cheerleader card.
Oh yes, you are.
Cheerleader.
Yes.
Farmer. Oh, there it is. I said it.
We're gonna try to. I don't even want to think about it, but we will be able to see you at Pro Action. I'm hoping to go as a vendor again. I would love to see you there.
And we can hang out now. I won't be dancing, so we can hang out.
Yes.
On the clock.
Oh my gosh. How many routines are you doing?
3. So they always ask for 3 of them. So I'm trying to figure out which genres I'm going to do and what's going to translate. I want both. I want every team to do these routines this year. So I'm like, what's going to translate on the court and the field?
And the field.
Situations.
Yeah.
I get it now. So again, and not all the teams can do all the styles. You know what I mean? So like, what can I have like a blanket routine that I know the teams that can't really get low in their plie, they're not really stylized. They're more like a Cardinals. Like, what can I do to get the Cardinals to do something and the Rams to do the same thing? Like, is that possible?
Yeah, I love
plus
that.
The Celtics. You know what I mean? Like, I want that. And the Hawks, So yeah, that's the goal. And if it's not possible, then how can I just make sure somebody can get something? I really want to take over. I really want to work with so many teams this year. And
I see it happening. I'm going to be like glued and just cheering for you every step of the way, just seeing all the things that you do. And man, finally this happened. Like, I'm so happy. I've been looking forward to it for I'm going to go back 3 years. I know Brittany and I, we were like wishful thinking, but I don't remember if we messaged you guys on Instagram or we probably did. And we were just starting out. We didn't really know the best way to kind of get a yes. We were like, we should at least start to make sure that they want to talk to us before we even make the ask of the team. But I mean, we've been following and such big fans. And I mean, again, just love what's happened in the space. The last question I'll ask you before I let you go is just your thoughts on the state of pro cheerleading and, pro dance community, and kind of like anything that you would want to see different to improve the space for male cheerleaders and dancers. Any kind of last thoughts on that?
I would even, take away the male cheerleader. I just want us to be respected. I think, as all of us, the females, the males, I think for some reason you work for $1 billion company, you know what I mean? And I can go work a job as an extra and get treated better sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm working for, do you see what you're putting me in? Do you see these stones, like this costume, this uniform? And I'm like, treat me like it, Everything is about the boys. I get it. It's all about, at the end of the day, sure. But at the end of the day, we're still human. And I think, how would you feel if your daughter or your son was in this position? Would you treat them the same way? And that's coming from the top, It's so discouraging to hear other stories from other teams. And I'm like, oh, that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's real. Like,
you'll really do that? Like, is that?
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, when people write in, and I'm just, I'm not like some enforcement agency. There's really nothing I can do about it. If they don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to put it on blast. It's really just, but it's so angering to hear, like you said, the lack of respect and the different experiences that are just so undeserved. And it's so, sometimes I'm just like, is this real life? Because like you said, it can be just so different. And it's just a base level of respect. It's not even it's nothing more than that. If there's a base level of respect for us as humans, like you said,
where the line gets drawn to where you make it this far, you train all this stuff, you do all of just crazy things in your life and all of these experiences. And then you get to this level and they're like, You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't get it. And I would hope that if and when the time comes, I do want to be a director at some point, and I want to change that because I know what it's like to get treated right. You know what I mean? I've been spoiled, and I can say that. Like we've been spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
We had an organization that was crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy about us.
Yeah.
And I would want to make sure that everybody, like, this should be the best times of your life. Like, this should probably be the last thing you do for most people before they get married, before they have their kids, before they let it go. You know what I mean? So like, this shouldn't be a cap. Like, you suck now. No, this is like the epitome. Like, we made it, y'all. Like, let's dance. Let's just kill it. So I would want to make sure that everybody else feels that same level of, I almost said spoiledness. That's not a word. That same feeling of spoilation. There it is. It's a Quintonism.
I don't even know.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like nobody is asking for anything above what is the bare minimum. Which doesn't make sense to me where like people were telling me like, I don't know. We can have a whole different conversation about this. I think we've done it.
No, but I definitely get what you're saying. Like, I want to see just the mindset shift amongst ourselves as dancers. Just why can't we strive for more? Totally deserving. And I do think it's a conversation at the right level, like you said, within the organization where they should be ecstatic to have such accomplished, talented people as part of their organization, and put your money where your mouth is. If you truly feel that way about these dancers, as you're picking from hundreds and hundreds of these audition videos, you pick them and then you treat them with the utmost respect.
I think all that would change when America, can I say America? When the world decides that they want to respect women. This will change when that changes. It'll be a whole different demographic. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Can you say that one more time, Quinton?
Yes. All of these things will change when the world decides that they want to respect women. That's just what it comes down to.
Wow.
That's fact.
That's it.
Because I was spoiled. Because there was stuff that I did that I knew, and then stuff that I got away with that I know, and I used my advantage. I was like, oh, I know dang well they can't get away with this. I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? They're not gonna say anything. You know what I mean? These were supposed to be covered. Nope. But you had to. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me, and I'm like, so now, like, either open it up and allow us to really be professional humans and not try to put us in this box.
Yeah.
You know what you're supposed to look like. And the best example is, I mean, this is so random, but I used to work for Disney. Everybody, I mean, yeah, we support diversity and inclusion, whatever. But girls, you have to be in this role. You have to wear this wig. You have to look good enough to wear this makeup. You have to do, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And Disneyland Paris just did a 30th anniversary show. The dancers get to pick their own costumes within the color scheme. They get to wear their own makeup. They get to wear their hair however they want. The boys, if they want their own makeup, they can do it. The girls, if they want, like, there was a black man, and this really hit me. There was a black man who wore, their colors were like pink, purple, and like a light blue. He had a hot pink do-rag on. And for anybody who knows how, on the professional level, Disney said, you know what? If that makes you comfortable, do it. What?
Wow.
If you know that I get nervous walking on my do-rag in my city, like, what? I can never. So the fact that they're allowing this man to wear his hot pink do-rag in this show, killing the choreo, everybody looks different, but everybody looks the same. Everybody looks happy. And I think it's cool when some days I think it was a girl who, one picture that I saw, she was in a blazer and some like pants. Next time she was in a skirt, you know what I mean? Which is a thing. We have our good days and our bad days. Like, you can't tell me that you support diversity and inclusion, all that stuff, and you want everybody to feel at home, but then you're making us fit into these boxes, these costumes. And after I saw that, and my friend Kim did this whole dissertation on her Instagram, and I was like, wow, like, that's what I'm talking about when when a company listens and they hear and they actually, like, what can we do to not just talk about it, let's be about it. You know what I mean? Like, can she wear her hair natural? I don't understand why hair is still a freaking thing. Like, that's another topic. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, back in the day, the girls in the Anaheim one couldn't do that because the hair couldn't fit in the wig, so they would have to straighten it. You know what I mean? So it was like stuff like that. Like, but these girls, they don't have to wear wigs. You know what I mean? You wear your hair however you want it. You know what I mean? Like, what? Because it's about the dancing. It's about the celebration. especially of a 30th anniversary. It's huge.
Right.
The characters are out there. You know who they are. Why do I have to be in a shell costume? Like, yeah, it's so awesome. So I think it's possible, but people have to actually want to do the work. And I think people don't want to do work. Well, it's tradition. I said, man, get out of my face. You're just lazy. Like
lazy. It's so not that hard to put that work in, frankly. It's the desire within to actually.
And it's even like a simple switch is like walking into a room and saying, like, because I teach mostly ladies, mostly girls. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, oops, hold on. Hey ladies, hey dancers, like, and it's just being aware. You know what I mean? Or even like I have one boy, and sometimes a teacher will come in, my boss, like, ladies, I'm like, there's a boy here. Don't forget about him. You know what I mean? Like, nope, because I was that person, and just you want to feel seen. You want to feel like you're a part of the group. You know what I mean? So it's like that. I even tried to push for competitions to have, like, I know this is weird, but for my studio, because again, I have one boy and 11 girls. These are best friends, but he can't be with them because they're changing in the girls' dressing room. So I'm like, I was like, y'all put on your briefs, put on your bras, you know what I mean? And can we all like get together and can we change in here? Because I also know what it's like to be in the locker room, talk with everybody. That's the best time of games. That's the best part. So I'm like being able to just like, I'm running around in my underwear talking about nothing. Like we're doing stupid stuff. You know what I mean? And yes, we're all comfortable. And yes, we're still being professional, but like it's the getting together before we have to do our work, do our job. You know what I mean? Like for him, they all come in together and then he's by himself for 4 or 5 hours on his phone while all the other girls just keying it up. You know, you can hear them. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. We got to figure out how to, whether y'all got to put sweats on and I don't know what we got to do, but we have to make this a
truly inclusive. Yeah. And just knowing that, because I think you might get diversity in terms of numbers and representation, but not doing anything to figure out or think or asking questions of how you can be more inclusive so that you're not trying to like figure it out of nowhere and pulling straws out of the sky. Or I'm terrible with analogies, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you actually like talk to and listen to your dancers, I think it can go so far in understanding how they want to feel seen and appreciated and part of the team. And I hope we get there, damn it. I really, really do.
You gotta do your part. I mean, even when it comes down to costumes, like I know what I would like, even have a choreographer solo. I know what I want her to see. She has a nice body. She's 16. Let's put her in this, and this. Then I'm like, hold on. Sheila, are you comfortable wearing this? Because I see this hot costume for you. But if you don't want to, we can go back to the drawing board. How do you know? Little things like that. You know what I mean? Like, because then they feel like they have a say. Whereas I'm so like,
I have a vision. Yeah.
I see it, but I also have to understand that you have to feel comfortable in it too. So I'm not wearing it, even though it's hot.
Yeah.
Or I like that color, but that color doesn't look good on you, huh? Can you tan? Are you comfortable tanning? Okay, cool. You're shining on stage and I can't put you in yellow. Like simple things, little things. But just having conversation, just asking people like, what are you comfortable with? Yes, it's work, and yes, it can be kind of tedious, but you want people to be comfortable because when you're comfortable, you perform at your best, and that's just what it is. Point blank, period.
That's it. God, I could talk to you forever. I hope this isn't the last. Even just checking in to see how you're doing.
Likewise. I mean, like I a little voice memos on Instagram. Just
I love them, especially when you have the video too. And I'm always just like, I gotta just try to be cool and short and sweet because I can, I'm talkative. And P.S. I don't even know if I even got a chance to say thank you and sorry at the same time. But when you joined me for the live session, this was 2020, all hell breaking loose.
Oh, yes.
Man, I mean, I was so wound up, emotional, and clearly I hadn't even probably talked to somebody in a while because, you're quarantining and everything. And I literally cringe. I can't even watch it back. But I just remember like just diary of the mouth. That sounds terrible. But I just hope that I did not completely just dominate that. I was so happy that you joined. And I was like, did you even let this man talk? Because I was so like wound up. But I was so happy that you joined me that time. So it's just thanking you for sharing your perspective. And just our communication has always been amazing, except probably that one time for me. I was just like,
that was a good time. And you have to vent. So you can't be the one always doing the talking or always doing the listening and asking questions. Like you got to get stuff off your chest too. So And I think that was a rough time, and I was just I was happy that I got the balls to kind of like, you know what, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm so glad
press
you did
press
it.
join.
Press
Um,
join.
and to speak
No.
about it, and again, that's another thing as a Black man. We don't get a chance to speak about certain things, or
Yeah.
it's put out there for you. You know, it's like, oh, we all feel like, and like, no, we are all different, and
Yes, we are. Yeah.
everybody has
No,
different.
I
So
exactly. No, I was so touched that you even wanted to, and then I was like, he's probably like, this woman talks too damn much. I'm never going to be
oh,
interviewed by her.
get it out,
She,
yes, bro. Come on, get it out, get it out. Like,
oh my God. I definitely could talk to you for like hours and
ever.
hours, not like home chick, but I'm excited, like I said, to see what's next for you. And this viral thing, I think, is just one of the steps and stepping stones to getting you
Go. It's time.
exactly where you're supposed to be. Just keep doing on touching all the lives that you're touching, your students. Like, I mean, there's so many good things that you're doing, and I'm just pleased that I got a chance to get to know you better. And I'll see
This
you this
platform.
summer and
Killing
all
it.
of the things. Maybe that's the connection too, is like when this podcast started, as scared as we were, just seeing all these things develop real time and talking about it. It's just, I mean, in a weird way, I feel a part of your journey, and that, not like your journey, but just I was
You
there.
were,
We were
I was
covering
literally sitting right
it.
here, and it was, what episode was it? It might have been. It was the first one that you talked about me on. Was that the boys dance too? That one? I was sitting here, literally,
Okay.
and I just, you know what I mean. So little things like that, like, so that is a part of my journey. Like sitting here, oh
Oh,
gosh,
yeah.
she's literally talking about me. This is kind of dope. Like, oh shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's different perspectives and everything. And back again, that was a whole different situation when it was you two on the mic together. So that was
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, talking about things just as scared as we could be, because even just talking about certain topics was, it was just uncharted little territory a little bit.
Nobody's
But
doing this.
yeah, we
Nobody's
did not
trying to
know. We
fight
did
for
not
it.
know where this was going. But again, it's just been beautiful to see your journey. And I know that there have been, I won't say limitations, but now that you're officially free, I just think it's just gonna blow
Ooh,
up even more. So
it's time.
excited for you.
It's time. It's
And
time.
you're here for it. Yes.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm telling you, you don't understand. I'm like so uncomfortable that I'm so excited. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I have my teaching job. That's fine. But like, what's next? Like,
Would you ever go on tour with an artist, or are there certain types of jobs that you're like, no, I do need to be planted, and that's not part of my future goals?
one, I never had the confidence. I knew I was talented, but there's a different fight that you have to have when you're auditioning for a tour, especially back in the open call days. Now things are a little different. That's about kind of how you know, and
Mm-hmm.
you still got to fight for it. But like that whole audition, do the combo 17 times in a row, you're dying. I don't have that. You know, you know what I mean? But with that being said, I really want to dance on a tour. That's the best part when I go to concerts. It's like, okay, I know any of these dancers. No, oh, these are all new faces. How exciting! They're new faces. You're killing. You got that chance. So, and I would be down to do one. My kids, they are well off. They're taken care of. They know what my end goal is to not be teaching them how to point their feet forever. The parents support me as well. Like they know, like, hey, I have a couple of dance moms that are actual dance moms. Like they own studios, and I'm like, they'll take over. They'll clean for me. I'm like, hey, or I have former kids that come in now that like know my style, like if that was them, and they'll be the ones to finish my routine. Like I had a solo and a couple in the group that I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be here for 2 weeks. Can you like finish it? And if I don't like it, I can always change it. But I just need it to be done so I can like see a complete picture. Now I'm like, well, you get choreo credit because I like it. Like, yeah, like stuff like that, and giving again, and then lighting that spark within them too, because I was asked to choreograph randomly. You know what I mean? I didn't know that by that one teacher asking me that I was going to do this. Like, so let's give them chances and kind of light that fire and see what happens. But no, yeah, tours, I'm open to that. I have a meeting with my agent actually next week to talk about it. Yeah, because I was like, there was stuff that I was like, I don't want to leave the kids. I can't do this and I can't do that because around. So if it's a shoot, it can only be a 2-day shoot, but it can't be on a Tuesday or Thursday. Like it was crazy. And the fact that we still made it work, or if I have a shoot on a Thursday, I have to be out by 7 if it's in LA, like crazy stuff. But now I'm like, I think I'm ready. I really want to dive into modeling. I really want to dive into print. Love the commercial world. Like, why not? And again, if this is trending right now, like I'm taking advantage. I mean, I'm talented. I'm Black. I got cool blonde hair. Like I have a cool look. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I also know I have a good heart, and I like to, and I love to perform. And any stage you give me, hopefully it's with Nicki or Beyonce at some point, or Doja.
That's why I can't just see you like on stage. Like I see you like whatever you're doing, it's embodying like all of you. So it's like your story, your positive energy, like all of that is, I see, being part of whatever it is that you're doing. So it's beyond the performance. It's just something else that pulls you in, and it's who you are, frankly. And that's what I just want to see more of in every way.
Turning 30 this year. It's like we gotta take over.
You turn 30? Stop playing.
Yes. September.
No way.
Virgo, baby.
I would have not given you more than 20, maybe turning 26.
Yes, I joined the team at 26. So
okay.
Crazy.
Wow.
25.
Well, you're still young as hell. But now it's time.
Now it's time, you know what I mean? And
now it's time.
I'm ready. And I think you have to be ready to, it's like that saying, be careful what you ask for, because will you be able to handle it when you get it? You know what I mean? And I think I can.
Because if you're not ready for that success when it comes, and there's all types of chances to fumble it or not appreciate it, you know, not be able to maximize it and ride the wave. But if you really truly have developed and gone through all these things, you're ready. You're so ready.
I am ready.
Well, I'm pulling for you. I'm cheering for you. I'm excited for you. And like I said, I'm just so happy to be able to have this be part of my last season. Like,
yes, which is crazy.
I can hang it up now knowing that, because this was one that I've wanted for the longest. I'm feeling good. I'm really happy.
Cha-ching, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to the Pro Cheerleading Podcast. You can follow your favorite podcast on social media at Pro Cheerleading Podcast on Instagram, at Pro Cheer Podcast on Twitter. We're on Facebook, on YouTube, and you can support your favorite podcast on Patreon. Until next time, keep your eyes on the sidelines.